Oh, turn green now. All right, welcome to the regular meeting of the St. Mary City Committee for October 23rd, 2025. If I could ask for quiet, please. The first item of the agenda is the appropriation ordinance 1281. Anything you want to bring to our attention on this, Marie?
The trees for some of your 5,500. What was the bottom? How much of the trees? 5,500 for the trees. So what I did is my AP.
It doesn't look like there's anything particularly.
So the 11,088, that was for the mitigation well that we use for irrigation in the park. Just 5 years ago, it needed to be repacked with gravel, and we recycled the then pumps. So now we have to pay for new pumps 5 years later, but we do get a lot of use out of that.
So if there are any,
Nope, that's all right.
then I'd entertain a motion to approve the appropriation ordinance 1281 as presented.
Mr. Mayor, so moved.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second, all those in favor vote aye.
Aye.
And there are none opposed, so that's approved. Proposed minutes of the last meeting of the 7th of October. Good. Okay, those are approved. Any agenda items to add?
They want to talk to you about the holiday schedule. I think they talked to you about it.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's true. The holiday schedule is what we're gonna.
Is that just gonna report?
No, it's an agenda item. There's a decision embedded in there, potential decision. So we'll, as much as I think people would like that to come first, maybe we'll put that as echo holiday. Good. Anything else? All right, first order of business. Oh yeah, now that I would just add, if you want to speak, of course you're welcome to, but please come up to the podium and use the microphone. Let us know if you're a resident of the city, and then if you could keep your comments clear, concise, and courteous, we would appreciate that. The first item is Sandy Hook Industrial Park Unit 4 final plat.
So the engineer's here if you have any questions for him, but essentially it's that lot at where they put the ambulance building. They originally going to replat that into lot 1 of unit 4. The landowners to the north had issues about drainage, so what they ended up doing was replatting lots 1, which is that big one that went all the way along Maple Hill Road to this lot, and lot 5 into Sandy Hook Industrial Park unit 4, lots 1 through 3. They addressed the landowners to the concern, because originally that lot was unbuildable, it was going to hold a retention pond. Then the city commission said, no, it doesn't need to be a retention pond, but it just sat there idle. Pot County wants to build an ambulance station on there. Property owner to the north was worried about drainage, because he was going to build something drain across there. In that plat in front of you, there's drainage easements. If you need to know anything technical, the engineer's here. But ultimately, your role tonight would be to accept the easements as platted. The planning commission approves the plats. You folks accept the easements or approve the easements. And if there's no dedications, as presented, or if you have any questions.
I guess, are you the engineer? Could I? Hello.
Art Basham with Olson, engineer for Pot County EDC and also for Potawatomi County on this. So, just.
Well, my only, I guess the only concern is the drainage. I just want to have assurance that
Yeah.
concern is.
So, if you look between lots 2 and 3 and lot 1, there's a drainage easement all the way on the, in between those lots. I can come up there
Is
and
that the 20 20-foot utility easement there, or the,
That is all of this. There's gonna be a ditch built all the way along there that takes this water and sends it back down to where it was, it's
okay, and the
discharging.
landowner is happy with this?
Yeah.
Okay, that was the
Yep.
good thing that I wanted to.
Yeah, both landowners have looked at this and I've talked to them, so, yeah. You need me to,
No,
I'm sorry.
I had a question for more, the planning commission was unanimous?
Yes. I believe, well, the minutes from there are in your,
I apologize. I
and
didn't
it
look
was
closer.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 were present, all in favor.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions on that?
No.
So our action would simply be,
Make a motion to accept the easements as presented on Sand Hook.
I would
Yes,
accept a
Department.
motion to, thank you, I'm sorry,
Thank you.
Accept the easements as proposed by the planning commission for Sandy Hook Industrial.
I so moved.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Yes.
I have a motion and a second, all those in favor vote aye.
Aye.
Aye, there are none opposed, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So he'll at some point bring up plat that needs to be signed
Okay.
by 3 of the commissioners.
The next item on the agenda is the library building.
I asked Mr. Mayor, this to be put on here.
Yeah.
You know, Maurice did a good job of showing us all the expenses that we've had over the years, and I think with the big one coming, this new one, the flooring, I just wanna put it out there as a time that we talk about getting out from under this building. Is it worth us maintaining this building going forward? Or do we look at possibly selling it, auctioning it, giving it? And that's, I don't know what the answer is. I mean, I know there are probably some very passionate concerns on all sides about this, but just with all the money that we've put into it over the last few years, and probably that we will have to put into it going forward, is it what we really need to be doing, is being in the, building rental business?
Okay. We have a bunch of expenses here. Do we have, I'm just.
The revenue's in there.
Yeah, we have
So-
it side by side.
What I did is I went in, I took the revenue beginning in January of 2005, and that was $130,700. And then I did the expenses from 2006 to present, after I sent out the wrong one without it, and it's $128,584. Now, I will only say that,
I'm sorry, give me those numbers again, please.
so in the packet, the revenue, I don't know what
Yeah,
page it's on,
yeah.
it's $130,700. And that, the start date on this was 1/7 of '05.
Okay.
The expenses started in '06 and went to the last meeting where you approved the library flooring. It is $128,584. Now, most of the expenses were captured probably in these line items. There would be times where we would have put lights up in the library and that wouldn't be on there because the utilities does it or whatever. And there is some concrete that would get poured once in a while, and it also includes that HVAC unit that blew off that had been replaced. Now, the company that puts them up there say they just use an adhesive, but we insisted that they bolt it or screw it in there this time. I don't know if that would have saved it from that straight line wind or not, but yes, those were the numbers we came up with.
On the expenses,
Mhm.
do we figure in the time when we have city employees working up there? Their
No.
pay?
No, we do not do that sort of
We
calculation.
don't do those, I know we don't time study.
Yeah, we don't, there'd be plenty. I don't know if it's in every day. You can look at the expenses. Some years it was just the termite tests, you know, and that sort of
I
stuff.
understand.
But just like anything else, street will help out, utility will help out street and that sort of stuff. But I have no way to calculate that. So, but the point I think you made the last meeting is, this is fine, this is good, but going forward, will there be structural problems? You asked that at one of the meetings.
Yes.
I don't have any way of knowing that.
None of us.
Well, you
Well,
could
I
have
mean,
someone look at it.
Right.
But
if
I
we
just
spend
found-
more money to have it looked at.
Right, I found it interesting though, so. So I have asked the city attorney, because whenever there's public property to get rid of, you have to have it available to the public, right? You have to put it out for everyone. I asked them because this unique situation, if it could be negotiated. I don't have an answer for tonight, but I have asked that question.
I wonder if we could give it to them. That's
Well,
fine.
tried that some years ago,
And they didn't want it.
well, so I'm not sure if they can own it or accept it, and I may have sent it to the county instead of the library board, but it was 10, 12 years ago I asked them that, because I just thought it'd be more convenient, that sort of stuff, wink, wink, but, do you want me to pursue that, to get an answer
Well-
from the city attorney?
Here's the thing that I would like to see, I wanna know if the other commissioners are even interested in this, because if they're not, then no, we're not gonna do anything. But if we have a majority of commissioners that are interested in seeing what our options are, then yes, I would like to see it. But again,
I would be very interested in seeing what our options are, because I mean, it provides a community service, and we've found out from previous experience that it's a community service that people value. So it's not as though we want to get rid of the library,
right, exactly,
but is
yeah.
there a way that we don't have to be paying for the maintenance of the building? I think that's a really good question.
And one thing, it's in my little memo here, January 1st is when the increased rent goes into effect.
Yeah,
It goes to 1,600.
yeah, but even that is,
Well, I'm just wanting that out
yeah,
there.
it's fine. What we can see is that every so often, there's some huge amount of expense during a year, you get that spike, and then the rest of the time it's sure. Did you want to speak?
We had a question out here.
Go ahead, if you want to speak, come on up.
Well, okay. Well, you had mentioned maybe just like getting rid of the building, but wouldn't that be getting rid of the Rock Library?
No, I don't wanna see that happen. Number
Okay.
one, I don't wanna see the library gone.
What
But-
would happen?
I don't know, but
Okay.
what I'm saying is,
A different landlord.
a different landlord, thank you, Chuck, or either a different landlord or give it to them.
Yeah, could the library,
To the
Well,
Pot
back
County?
Yeah, give it to
Okay.
them. I wouldn't, and I'd sell it to them if it was up to me, I'd give it to them for
Okay,
$1.
but you're not talking about just doing away with the library?
Absolutely not, no, we're not going down that road again.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
so that, I mean, I don't know. Go ahead.
Mayor, so we just increased the rent of the library, good analysis done on rent of commercial properties. So in past years, we had about a little over $7,000 in rent. Starting next year, we get a little bit over $19,000 in rent. Taking a look at expenses. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to know exactly, but averaged over the last 20 years, it's $13,000 a year plus insurance of, another $5,000 a year or something. May I understand the numbers correctly? So-
Yeah, so the insurance was, keep in mind, everything has just gone up greatly too on the insurance. So the annual cost for the insurance going forward is $5,288 a year. I just broke that down for a monthly charge, so, so there's two groups there of figures. The second one subtracted out that unique situation with the HVAC, where it got blown off the roof. That's kind of a odd situation.
That would never happen again.
No, not again.
But yeah, so $11,700 a year if you include everything. And it doesn't, of course, include any extra help and some of those lights that we did not capture and charge there, but, so yes, $12,000 would be a good number.
I did, $13,000, I did over 10 years, so that's half, so, okay, so we're at $12,000 a year real costs, averaged over the past 20 years. You know, so it's, at least we're not underwater right now, thank you for doing that work. But we're positive cash flowing about $8,000, yeah, there's labor involved, but,
And so the
understanding
light-
options is always interesting, but I think we're in a much better position now than we were years past, and as we can see with the cost, you take away 2009, 2025, those are the big numbers there. It's 100,000 of the 130, so there's not a whole lot remaining. You know, what else can go wrong over the next 10 years, that would be a major cost. Looking at the data, it would be very hard to see a major expenditure coming up, so economically, it's in, I think, our best interest to just keep doing what we're doing with the increase and moving forward, but options are always interesting.
I just did wanna say that if they do minor interior stuff like painting, they've covered that from what I recall, although we did have a paint sprayer on there one time, so.
I think we've talked about this before. How much property is with this? What property? do we
Oh,
have?
so it's there's some acreage, I mean, not
Because
acreage.
I'm only thinking of the fire station question.
Yeah, so there's the regular library, and if you go down that hill, the city owns a lot next to it.
To
So there's the library
west.
lot, and then there's that other lot down there, to the,
So that's a distinct lot, so I wouldn't necessarily,
So,
Separate them.
to the south?
no,
it must be
the
to
south, the
the
south
Oh,
is
to the west.
to the west, down that hill.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, there's a lot there. So I just, if you do dispose of the property, that lot should be kept separate.
Alright, so maybe we say it'd be interesting to know the options, but given the recent change in the rent and that we can't know for sure, but after this investment, we might be stable for a while. It'd
Well,
just be interesting to see the options.
It's not a all or nothing type thing. It's something you can just keep looking at, and if, things change. So, am I directed to continue to see attorney about the ways to dispose of it? Because I think it's gonna have to be made available to the public.
Yes, I would like to know
I would like to know, yeah.
as well.
And if it's not cost effective, or if it becomes, I mean, if we're, again, you don't know what's gonna happen down the road, none of us do, none of us are gonna be able to, unless we have somebody come in and look at it, but, and so, yeah, I think it's gonna cash flow going, starting after January 1, but I'm looking at the possibility of another major, I know what it costs, I mean, I'm siding my house, and it's not cheap. Those are the things I'm thinking about.
Need to keep it for at least 3 years ticking. All right, good for now.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Next item, something that we talked about last week a little bit, the public building rental policy. And that page, I think we're trying to get through it. Here it is. Page 29 of 47 on the packet.
So I just would like to say that when the city commission waives fees for events that go down there, that's so the folks can reserve it. You don't have to come to the city commission to use the park. People use it to have soccer clinics and all that stuff down there on their own. They just run the risk of not having it available. So there are people that come and ask because they want to secure it. There are people that do it on their own because they know it's going to work out for them probably. So what I did is I went through the minutes and reviewed several key words like wave and all that sort of stuff and came up with a list for the last 20 years thereabouts.
So this is comprehensive, this is not just the armory.
Oh, no.
Well, because public facilities was discussed and I thought,
Yeah.
let's look at it. But the armory's kind of been a most sought after thing because that's something that you just can't show up and use like the soccer field.
Okay, so I'm sorry, this is both waived and not waived?
Well, the first couple were not waived and there's only two of them. The guy wanted to have a hunter safety class there. The commission at the time
So
said
everything
no.
on here, these are things that we have
Everything else has been waived, yes.
since 2000.
Yeah, I didn't remember, I'm not sure if I was here, yeah, I was here for that. I just don't remember anybody being told no. Well, I'll leave the other one out, there was one, but they paid. And I don't know when the chamber started doing the Bells of St. Mary's. I couldn't find that in there. That should have been in there each year because Helen Paul used to come and ask for it. But so it'd be lacking that, but it is mentioned a few times in there. And in 2018, there was discussion about not waiving fees for the golf course tournaments. No action was taken. People got around that by having a tournament there without reserving it. You know, just have start times that would stagger.
One comment, that it seems like starting, you know, the number of things waived has increased significantly annually since there are very few entries from there are relatively few entries from 2009 to 2020, and then quite a few since then, especially the last couple of years. So the trend seems to be toward waiving more things.
Well,
Just in
so there, sometimes there's certain service organizations that aren't in existence and they come back.
Yeah.
And there's one, so the one that would have been a lot would have been the naval or the Air Force one, what was that? But that never really got started. And you'd waived it for the chess tournament or that chess class, I thought, but that never materialized. That could have been quite a few rentals or usages. Blood drives used to be there more regularly. I didn't see that in the minutes. So they would have all been approved, but I guess some of them wouldn't have been in the minutes. I don't know why. I just had the minutes to use, so.
So, Francis, you wanted this on the agenda. Would you like to open discussion on it? And maybe, I think the point is we want to have guidelines.
I think it was trying to, yeah. So yes, I asked for this to be added in, the research to be done, to know just kind of when we've waived fees in the past. I thought I would have a more clear opinion after looking at some of these. But I don't. I think it's just gonna take some time to think it through a little bit more. But, yeah, just what, I don't know where to start with what are the criteria for waiving a fee of a public space that is a rental space? You have nonprofits, you have fundraisers, all sorts of various events for good organizations, good people. Then you have events that are, you know, in somebody's opinion is for the community, and I don't know, it's at the end of the day, there's some costs involved which aren't that significant. I don't know, I thought I'd have a more clear opinion on it. A little bit hesitant right now, I'll just keep thinking about it, but, you know, open to further discussion, but it's not gonna be as easy to come up with a good solution that, I think would make sense as I thought it would be.
Well, I have a question for you, Maurice. Are you able to figure out if other cities have policies on renting space?
The city clerks
Criteria.
belong to a listserv. They can pose that question so we can see
I'd
what.
just be curious to know if there is such a policy to see
I'm sure they've
how
got
they
all kinds of
separate that
policies.
out.
I'm sure someone has something and that sort of stuff. My thought was gonna be this, and sometimes people come here and ask for fees to be waived because they're doing a fundraiser. And I believe some of these fundraisers are legitimate, and I believe some of these fundraisers are not legitimate. And I'm not saying, I just would like you to question them out, to ask for proof or find out if they are truly fundraisers and they're just not using it for personal gain. But that doesn't mean you couldn't waive it. I just want people to be clear what they're using it for. If someone wants to raise some money or something like that, there's nothing wrong with that. I hear other people say, well, that money went in so-and-so's pocket, blah, blah, blah. There's no proof it was sent anywhere. But other than that, we can find out some examples.
Yeah, I think at root, we don't want public facilities being used for profit.
Well, all they have to do to use it for profit is pay the rental fee. Okay,
Yeah,
all I'm saying is there's no
Sure.
need to be deceptive
Yeah.
about it because the rental fees are relatively inexpensive.
Yeah,
So-
so if you could find some policy from
They'll
another,
look into it.
anything else on that? Next item, park and recreation work sessions. We had, I'll just do a quick summary of it. We had two of them scheduled, one for tonight and one for the 2nd of December, and we weren't able to accomplish a lot, I would say, just because there was some miscommunication between the advisory board and what we were looking for. So, I think that they have some clear guidance from the meeting that we had, and then that'll be followed up so that the next work session can be more productive.
I
Go ahead.
do have one question.
Sure.
Do we have, Mark, maybe you can answer this, do y'all keep minutes for your meetings? Y'all take minutes?
do, I know Rocco's been, writes them up and gives them to
Do
Mark.
we have minutes from their last meeting?
I have a set of minutes, but it's been from a while ago. I don't know if it's their last meeting or not.
When
I put them in the packets, every,
I know you
planning
do.
commission
You
packets,
remember when that was?
we can find it. I don't know off the top of my head.
Probably was that August meeting. Was it that?
Was
long?
it,
I remember one.
was it around, it was, I thought it was in the summer or
It wasn't
something.
that long.
Yeah, okay, that's the only question I had from,
Yeah, whenever any of your advisory boards meet, I try to provide you their minutes, even if they're in draft form.
yeah, that's the only question, Mr. Mayor, that I have.
Do you have any comment? Anything else on this? So I mean, I'm looking forward to being able to really consider this stuff a little bit more rigorously next time. We can take a lot of data have been gathered, which we appreciate, we just need to have it assessed and analyzed, to use a term someone else used, filtered a little bit for us before it's gonna be actionable, is my sense. Okay, the last item on the agenda is
That'd be Kelsey.
holiday.
Okay,
Okay,
I spoke to you about it the other day. So the day after Christmas is a Friday. So we were wondering if we needed to come in on that day
Yeah.
since it's the day after Christmas.
For a half a day.
Well,
Which
keep
half?
in mind,
Five to 11.
Afternoon.
keep in mind, streets on call for weather, utilities on call for utilities, the police are gonna work regardless, but those that aren't scheduled would have it off where.
Yeah, well, my opinion is that it would be silly to have you come in on the Friday for a single day. I recognize that makes for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 day weekend.
It's silly for people that have family events going on, that sort of stuff, but I will tell you, we've done it before, and it is a good day to get stuff done, because no one else shows
Well, I
up.
mean, that
You'll
doesn't mean,
be here.
Yes.
doesn't mean you're not allowed to come in, but I mean,
And after you,
I think the question that we would have to ask is, this will happen occasionally, so why would we not, if we think it makes sense for employees not to have a mandatory work day on the Friday between Christmas and the weekend, we should probably make that just the process, the rule.
well, so in our handbook, it allows you folks to give us that time. I think it's just the easiest to bring it, make it public.
Yeah. Well,
so
but my follow-on question is, that because, New Year's is the next week, what do we wanna do about that? I mean, is it the same, is it different? I could see it going.
I had zero thoughts on that, I don't really care, but the Christmas one, I thought people would want, but, they're open to whatever you got suggest.
Well,
On Saturday.
that's true, we could do
Swap
Friday.
Friday
off.
for Saturday.
It wouldn't, we get a lot of communication done, but I'm not opposed to having the Friday after Christmas off, for them to have the Friday.
But not the one after you,
I don't think it's necessary.
I'm gonna go out on a good note.
you think, what do you think, Rick?
Common business practice, because that's when you want to align with what's going out in the real world. And I would say a lot of people are taking off the Friday after Christmas, but probably not the New Year's Friday. So I was just aligned with that.
Consensus for the one,
That's my inclination as well, for
Yeah.
sure, I think we wanna have them the day after Christmas off,
well,
whether, with regards to whether you wanna go.
I didn't know.
We'll record the first as a consensus. Thank you all.
Alright. Reports?
I sent out a little memo earlier on various projects. I don't have anything to add on that.
I can't get it.
So,
I can't find it.
If you don't wanna comment on the budget timeline, or you just think.
I put that on there just for people to be aware what's going on. I've got that worked out with Kelsey. We'll get that put on after the second meeting in November, even though there'll be plenty of time. We're looking at the same budget, type of a budget amendment we did last year for that sales tax fund because of the same storm claim. I know we've got the 700, 800,000, whatever, but you remember you authorized the umpire.
Yes, I do
Thing.
remember that. I
And
saw that I wrote a really nice email about that earlier today.
I cut and pasted it from the engineering firm.
Wow, I know.
Had him on the phone, so I wouldn't make any mistakes and got it done. But anyway, my point being is, I'm gonna have to inflate that sales tax expense because they're asking for a significant amount of money. And I know it's getting close to the end of the year, but we don't spend if we don't have it. You know, and I don't know what the exact number would be on that, but everything else is pretty clear. That Oguna, they still haven't billed us for the last part of that water project. They claim to be calculating some sort of change order. Now that can go up or down. I'm sure this one's gonna go up.
Let me guess.
They have about 20,000 left on that substation project, but Electricom, but I'm sure that's not gonna be due until we have the outage and they tie into the system. And then where you're still, so the county is graciously doing the easements for that bridge, and we'd have to pay for it.
That's
But
good.
once those are hammered out, they gotta do that pole, gotta move that. And Don Polson is gonna try to get both these projects scheduled for the same night, so we only have to have one outage. And we don't know if we can do that because of these companies, but we're gonna try. So that's all I have. What? End of the month, there'll be a meeting with a software company to transition, start the process, and then Kelsey found out that our current software provider must be losing enough customers. They now have a policy that they'll go month to month instead of making us do the whole year, so we don't have to pay for a whole other year of the current software. So that was pleasant.
You had something else?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, so can you touch base or go back on the power outage?
Mhm.
Do you, is there a time estimate on when that might happen?
That's a day or a night.
You just,
It'd be overnight, like,
how
How
in the
long?
future?
oh, so it's, the first hurdle to get over is to get the easements in place.
Mhm.
And the county's doing that. I don't know when that's happening.
I know there's no good time to have a power outage.
It'll be that Friday after the first of the year because we'll be working, John.
But, and I don't know what the right answer is, but sometimes right in the middle of business day, sometimes
Oh, no, it'd be overnight. No, this would be done at 10 o'clock or midnight or
Okay,
something.
sorry.
We're not, no, I know, we've tried doing that stuff in the past. We finally got it figured out. These guys are used to working overnight and they're all professional crews used to working overnight. So it would be probably after 10 or depending on the weather. So that's what we were planning on.
Okay.
So, yeah, no, we're not doing that anymore. That figure for 8 AM on a Saturday because, yeah. So, that's all I have.
Well,
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adjourn this
I have a motion to adjourn the meeting. Do I have a second?
I'll second.